Tonight, I sit here trembling, my mind unraveling like frayed fabric. I cannot tell what's real anymore. A darkness has begun to seep into my thoughts, slow, insidious, crawling through the cracks of my sanity. I feel helpless, trapped in a suffocating fog, as if I'm slipping further from myself with every passing moment. My sister, my dear sister, she should be celebrating her 32nd year. Instead, I feel her suffering waves through my own bones like silent storms. It started last August, sharp cramps, blood clots, nightmare shadows in my mind, threatening to drown me. We waited for doctors, for answers, but what we found was only the beginning of something far darker. Yesterday, the doctor's voice was a distant echo, her words trembling, barely registering a diagnosis I could not grasp. Cancer, uterine, cruel, and relentless. But what stage? What's next? I don't know. The waiting gnaws at my soul, and each second feels like a step closer to madness. And now, I can't escape it. I can't escape this. The shadows are creeping in, not just around me, but inside my mind. I see them twisted, slick shapes that writhe and stretch as if alive, seeping from the dark corners of my room, oozing across the floor in black, greasy pools that shimmer and bubble like spoiled flesh. Their surface is glistening with blood and ichor, and I swear I hear the wet squelch of flesh tearing apart beneath their slimy, jagged claws. It starts with a whisper, soft, insidious, like nails scraping across the inside of my skull. At first, I thought it was just my mind being overwhelmed by fear. But then, the whispers grew more urgent, more horrid rattling inside my head, echoing like a chorus of bones cracking and muscles ripping. Sometimes I think I see them shadows with gnashing teeth, their surfaces slick with rot and blood. They crawl and slither, whispering promises of eternal suffering and silence promises. I know my mind is already beginning to believe. Tonight, I felt that it was trying to claw its way deeper down into my bones, into my very marrow. Greasy tendrils slither through my thoughts, wrapping tight around my skull, squeezing. I clutch at my head, trembling as reality dissolves like rotten flesh into darkness. I hear it. No, they are within me. I can feel their wet, slimy grip, burrowing deep, whispering in languages I no longer understand, promising the ending of all hope. My reflection distorts my face, melting, blood and flesh peeling away like a rotting mask. I see the shadows disgusting, misshapen things flashing in the corners of my vision, horrid shapes with hollow eyes that burn with a feral hunger. They stare, waiting for me to break apart completely. Just a little more slipping, just a little more losing my mind. Every day, I feel myself drifting further into their darkness, fading, slipping away from the man I once was. I see my memories fragmented, twisted into grotesque illusions. The laughter, the love, the hope, it's all slipping through my fingers, dissolving into the black void that whispers, "You are nothing." The voices, wet, scraping sounds, tell me I am already lost to them. I feel it like thick, grease tendrils crawling, sliding into my ears, into my eyes, into my trembling head. They wrap around my thoughts, squeezing, twisting, killing my reason. I swear I see them in the dark beasts with jagged claws and rotting flesh waiting patiently. Their surfaces slick with blood and ichor, their eyes glowing with a feral hunger, speaking to me in a language of despair I cannot understand. Tonight, I realize this isn't just sickness, it's a curse. It's been inside me all along, growing stronger, feeding on my fear, my despair, my weakness. And I am losing myself, the figure I once knew is slipping away into darkness, fading like a whisper lost in the void. I clutch my head, trying to hold on to myself, but all I hear constant, wet, gnashing sounds like flesh tearing, bones cracking inside and outside. The shadows whisper that I am already theirs, an echo of rot and despair, dragging me into the endless rotting dark. And I fear I am already lost, sinking into a bottomless abyss I can never escape. The darkness laughs soft, wet, and hungry, and I can't tell. The shadows whisper in the depths of my mind, tearing at the remaining fragments of who I was, twisting my thoughts into grotesque shapes. My reflection is no longer mine. Its melting flesh peeling from bone, eyes hollow, oozing black ichor. I see them monstrous things with ragged claws and rotted flesh slithering at the edges of my vision, waiting patiently for me to give in completely. Every minute feels like a nightmare, my surroundings warping, the walls oozing with viscous black slime that bubbles and breathes like some living carcass. I can feel it, thick, greasy tendrils wrapping around my ankles, creeping up my legs, twisting through my bones as if trying to seep into my marrow. It's inside me now. I know you can't fight something that has already begun to crawl through your veins. My thoughts are slipping away, words, memories, hope dissolving into an endless darkness that whispers lies. I hear it wet, scraping sounds, flesh tearing, bones cracking, inside my mind, inside my skull. Whispers urging me to surrender, promising eternal darkness, whispering that I am already lost. My eyelids grow heavy, my senses dull, as if I am sinking beneath a heavy, rotten tide with no way back. I see the shadows gathering, grotesque, malformed shapes with glowing eyes, their surfaces slick with blood and putrid ichor waiting in the shadows, eager for their turn. They pulse and writhe, whispering promises of everlasting suffering. Their wet claws scraping against my consciousness, trying to drag me into that terrible, endless abyss. Sometimes I hear them muttering in a language of decay, in a voice so faint yet so consuming, it feels like the very darkness is speaking through my own breath. I am losing myself piece by piece, thought by thought. Every time I try to hold on to my sanity, I can feel the darkness gnawing into my mind, slipping into my shadows, whispering, "You are already theirs. There's no escape." My reflection is a corpse now gaunt, bloodless, rotting. The faces of monsters with jagged claws come close, their rotten flesh dripping, their eyes burning with hunger. They want me. I clutch my head as if I can hold off the darkness, fighting with the last shred of my dying self, but I feel the creeping tendrils wrapping around my thoughts, squeezing until I can't tell which voice is mine anymore. I hear that wet gnashing, sound the tearing flesh, the cracking bones, and I realize this isn't just sickness, it's a curse. It's been inside me all along, waiting, patiently feeding on my despair until I become nothing. The darkness laughs, softly wet, slimy, hungry, and I know I am already slipping into its abyss. The last light fades, I am swallowed whole, dragged into the endless rotting void, where the whispers never cease and the shadows devour all remaining hope. And in this darkness, I hear only one thing, a quiet, wet whisper promising that I will never escape, never wake, never be free.